what happens if we do nothing? I mean, that's the question we heard so often today. If we do nothing, we'll have terrible, unmitigated disaster. What do you say about that?
Well, they're just panicking the Congress into rubber stamping what they want to do. What happened when Lehman Brothers failed?
But why would Warren Buffett be interested in panicking Congress?
Well, I'm not quite sure, because I think this is not the old Warren Buffett, because he said his investment today in Goldman Sachs depended on the passage of this package. He said that he could have trouble if it's not passed, and he's assuming it's going to pass. He believes it's going to pass, and that means he believes there's illiquid assets in Goldman Sachs. So, but that's not his normal way of investing. So I would say that he's bitten off a bit more than he usually does.
But again, I mean, he's very careful about his investments. He doesn't invest in things as a fly-by-night investor. I think you'd agree with that. He's got the best track record by far of anybody in the history of investing. So one would think that he thought this thing out pretty carefully.
Yeah, it probably has, but he's lived with the Keynesian economic system of inflation and a central bank that creates credit, and he understands it, and he's made a lot of money out of it, but I don't think he has the full understanding of monetary policy. Matter of fact, his dad was a congressman who happened to have completely different views that he has rejected, and that means that you shouldn't have an inflationary system, and yet you can make a lot of money, and Warren Buffett proved it. He's a brilliant guy and a brilliant investor, but there's a time that comes when the system fails, and that's what the history of money tells us. Fiat money doesn't work. Well, that's what we're facing today, and that's, to me, much more serious than a couple of more companies going bankrupt. The whole country goes bankrupt when you destroy a currency. Then you're looking at what happened in Germany and Central America, and we cannot ignore that. We can't pretend that you can create money endlessly.
Unless we actually end up making money from this deal, and Warren Buffett spoke to that point. I'll get you to respond. Let's listen to the second clip.
I think that if you buy the kind of obligations they're talking about at market prices and you borrow money at the cost that the Treasury has, I think the Treasury will make significant money. I don't think you can promise anybody that, but I would love to have a piece of that action.
So he'd love to have a piece of the action. Would you? Obviously not.
No, but he's depending on inflation. He wants us to create a lot of money and credit and buy up risky assets. If he thought it was such a good deal, why does he want this program to go through? He should have picked out the good assets and bought them. And that should have been it. He should have picked up the best assets of AIG and bought them outright.
Well, he waited for Goldman. He considered Goldman to be a good asset, and he picked that up.
Yeah, well, no, but what he's saying is, I'm suggesting that this is a little bit different, because he said this might not be a good deal unless we pass this package, and that's why he's on board to get this package passed. But this has nothing to do with real investing. This has to do with putting the burden and the risk on the taxpayer and demanding that we inflate more currencies and create an artificial market and try to prop up prices. I mean, we're back in the Depression era again, saying that these illiquid assets are going to have value maybe, but nobody knows that they will. But where's the risk? No longer on the people who have made all these profits over the years. The risk now is on the taxpayer and every single person in this country who uses a dollar. Well, it depends on a stable dollar.
I think everybody agrees with you on that. The problem is how to get risk back into the system, because it has been largely removed from a big chunk of our financial system. We've got to leave it at that, Congressman. Ron Paul, great to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.